Pregame.com.
Friday night NBA here at pregame.tv. Hey everybody, welcome to the show, the post-New Year's show. That's Brian, Marco, and I'm Scott. We got the Rockets and the Bucks doing battle, and it's a free pick from Marco. The Bucks laying 1. The total 210.5. Marco, I'm going to start with you. Houston averaging 106 points per game. Tough to stop on the offensive end, but they play no defense or very little defense, and that might be just what the doctor ordered for this Milwaukee team, which has been a bunch of bricklayers so far this season.
Well, yeah, I mean, Houston, they're a point spread darling, 8-2 the last 10 games, and like you said, they score points. So the public loves back in Houston because you're going to get your money's worth with them. You're going to get a lot of points. But I look at this Milwaukee team, and I think Milwaukee's flying a little bit under the radar. They got a lot of big name teams out there in front of them, but here's a team that's 9-4 against the spread in their last 13, and they can play some defense. And obviously you better be able to play some defense if you're going to slow down this Houston offense, which really the addition of Harden has been great for this team this year. But Milwaukee has held, prior to their last game where San Antonio came in and put up 117, they held 7 straight opponents to 96 points or less. And I have a tendency that first game after the holiday not to put too much stock in the stats. You never know if which teams are coming totally focused to play.
Well, Brian, Houston's just 5-8 straight up on the road. But they do whip up on these Eastern Conference opponents, 12-2 straight up 14 times. And what they like to do is jump out to that early lead, make you play catch-up, and most of the Eastern Conference teams are not capable of playing catch-up. Same thing happens here. If they jump out on Milwaukee, there's no way the Bucks probably catch up because they don't shoot well, so they're going to have to play their game. The difficult problem with dealing with the Houston Rockets is that they not only shoot from the outside, they can nail you in the paint real well. I mean, they're one of the top teams in the paint when it comes to scoring the basketball.
Yeah, Houston had a little bit of a adjustment period early in the year with a couple of new guys in there. In fact, made a lot of good new guys this season. But since that point, they played a lot better. They played a lot better on the road as of late. And, you take a look at what Houston's done as of late. They're 9-3 straight up. The losses were at Toronto, who's playing really good ball right now, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City. So they're up there with these teams. They're playing very good ball. I think there might be a little bit of a correlated parlay here, and I think you hit on it a little bit. And you talked about it, 117 they give up to San Antonio, but before that, they played very good defense. When the Rockets games go over the total, the Rockets are 11-5 against the spread this season. So in a high-scoring game, it benefits Houston. But with Milwaukee, who's a pretty good defensive team, is off of that bad defensive performance, you would think they'd come out with a really good defense here. And if they do, I think Milwaukee covers the spread.
This is the oddest stat that I found in the NBA, and I forget who had posted it, found it online, double-checked it to make sure it was right. But now Houston, this part isn't the odd part. Houston is averaging about 19 fast break points per game, and you'd expect that out of this high-scoring team. But Milwaukee, as good as they are on defense, they're giving up about 16 fast break points per game. That always scares me when you talk about a defense that doesn't get back, but yet they have these great overall numbers. Anyway, they do have the rocket killer, by the way, in Monte Ellis, who's lit up this Houston team with other teams. But anyway, he's with Milwaukee now. Anyway, this is Marco's free pick. Let's get to it, Marco.
All right, guys, I'm going to look at the Milwaukee Bucks. As I said, I think this is a team flying under the radar. And because Houston is a high-profile team right now, the way they're winning and the way they're scoring, we're getting great line value. We're only laying 1 at home with a Milwaukee team that they have held 6 of their last 7 opponents prior to that San Antonio game to 43% or less from the field. And as you mentioned, Scott, they give up a lot of fast break points. Those are easy buckets. So if you take those away, when teams are getting set up and have to shoot out of the half-court offense, they are playing great defense. I think they slow them down. Brian made a great point. You might want to look at the under for a correlated parlay. But I've got Milwaukee winning this one by 7 to 9 points. We're going to take Milwaukee as my free pick.
Nice stuff. You know what I also read that I like about the Milwaukee players? They're really upset with themselves the last 2 games starting poorly, being behind the 8 ball before you could even get to the end of the first quarter. And they talked about going into this game that they are going to come out with a focused effort at the start and not get so far behind. I think that helps with your free pick here on the Milwaukee Bucks. That's Marco's free pick. Well, when we come back, we've got more Friday night NBA, my best bet, the battle in LA between the Lakers and the Clippers. Stick around for that and more.